Willow, the streaming sequel of the 1988 classic movie of the same name. It's about an unlikely group of heroes who set out on a dangerous quest to places beyond their home, where they must face their inner demons and come together to save the world. Shout out to Google for the description. First things first. When it comes to shows produced by Disney, the priority is always to fulfill the requirements of the agenda. They're all about checking boxes. Because Disney is a socially politically compromised company, the agenda always comes first. Plot and quality be damned, it's all about the message. So it's activism over capitalism, representation over profit. So let's do the rundown. Let's see how many boxes they checked. Number 1, girl power.
You think I can't do it? You think I can't do it, Mr. Man? You think I can't do it? Because I'm a woman with weak little arms and you're a big strong man and you're coming to save me?
There are 2 highly skilled female warriors in the show. One is the princess and the other is her friend. Both have a sense of adventure and reject traditional gender roles. They want to be more than just girls. More on them in a moment. Box number 2, castrated beta males.
The way it is.
Come on! Jesus! Just grow some fucking balls!
Double check. There are 2 princes in the movie. When the enemy attacks, one cowers in his quarters while the girls are out there fighting, and the other one is so inept at fighting that he actually gets taken hostage. So he's the damsel in distress. It's his sister and his girlfriend that have to go off to save him. Box number 3, rainbow community romance. Nowadays, no Disney family movie is complete without some girl-on-girl or guy-on-guy action. And the 2 female warriors, the princess and her friend, are more than just friends. Box number 4, the elimination of the straight white male protagonist. The last thing they want to have in a film is have an alpha male of any complexion, white, black, or Hispanic, looking strong and masculine. So 5 minutes into the quest, the most skilled warrior is killed by an arrow, jokingly as he warns them about remaining vigilant. Box number 5, the white male villain. The second most skilled warrior in the show goes over to the dark side. Box number 6, the demonization of the patriarchal figure. In the movie, Val Kilmer's character, Mad Mortigan, marries the queen, and in the show they have twins. Now, Kilmer couldn't reprise his role due to health concerns or health reasons, but instead of killing him off or recasting the character, they make him an absentee father. He abandons his family to go on a quest, and he just never returns. And that brings us to number 7, the most important box of all. Diversity for the sake of diversity, diversity for no reason. Having a person of color that has no business being there. Let me explain what I mean, because I can sense that some of you don't like me saying that. First and foremost, I like diversity. Better yet, I like representation. What I don't like is this patronizing form of diversity that Hollywood does. It's obvious when you watch the screenwriting of the characters that they were written as white on paper, but their faces were swapped out for brown ones, because there's no representation of their culture and their personalities. Basically, they're just white characters in brown face, and that's not representation to me. I'd like to reference this interview by Denzel Washington when he's speaking on why it was important for him as a black man to direct the movie Fences, a movie based on a play written by a black man about black people.
Could a white director not have?
It's not color, it's culture.
Explain the difference, because I think we're
Steven
in a space
Spielberg
right
did Schindler's List. Martin Scorsese did Goodfellas, right? Steven Spielberg could direct Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese probably could have done a good job with Schindler's List, but they're cultural differences. You know, I know, you know, we all know what it is when a hot comb hits your hair on a Sunday morning, what it smells like. That's a cultural difference, not just a color difference.
Right.
So it's the culture.
You know about a hot comb? So now
She don't know about no hot comb. You don't know nothing about. See how everybody laugh? That's a cultural difference. That's not a race difference. That's just that motion. That's all I gotta say, right?
I know what a hot comb is.
Okay. All right. The space that we're in, culture versus race, and how important it is, you know, where we are right now as a culture, as an American family. You're producing a film that's culturally germane to a particular time and a particular people.
So yes, I agree with Denzel. culture matters. Without culture, it's not diversity, not real diversity, and it's absolutely not representation. Having a brown face isn't enough. So for example, when I look at Corlys Velaryon in the show House of the Dragon, and this is no criticism of the show, by the way, I absolutely love the show, but I don't see him as a black man because his character is still culturally white. Therefore, he doesn't represent me as a black man. That's not real diversity. And I sense the same thing when I look at Willow, the brown characters in Willow. Regardless of how they look, they're still European, because that's where the show is set. It's based on medieval European lore. So, after all of that, is the show any good?
Hell no.
Don't get me wrong, the production value was on point. The special effects and set designs were perfect, but the fight choreography and the action sequences were mediocre at best. In that regard, it reminds me a lot of The Rings of Power, a show which I affectionately described as a turd covered in glitter. It looks great, but it's still shit. But thankfully, it's not as pretentious. Watching Rings of Power was like watching third graders do Shakespeare. The dialogue was clumsy and silly at times, and I often found myself laughing at how bad it was.
There's a tempest in me.
But the dialogue in Willow is straightforward. However, it's still awful, which makes it hard for me to criticize the acting, because I don't think it's fair to call an actor or actress bad when they're forced to regurgitate a bad script. And even though it isn't an MCU movie, it still has those stupid MCU-isms, those tropes. The telling of bad jokes and punchlines at the wrong time. Now, I already referenced how they made a joke off of a character being deleted, but in that same scene, they're running for their lives from the enemy. And as the characters are trying to get away and fight the enemy off and survive, you see them deliver these stupid one-liners. And speaking of stupid stuff that happens in the show, there's a lot that goes on that doesn't make sense. Oh, and by the way, this is a spoiler-filled review, but the lead protagonist, Laura Dannon, the person the entire show is about, the person the bad guy is trying to capture or delete, she keeps wandering off with no survival equipment, just trots off into the wilderness like everything in the world is safe, constantly putting herself in danger like she's a toddler, even though she's a grown woman. Oftentimes that's a symptom of bad writing. When the writing staff can't come up with a creative plot, they often make the characters stupid to put themselves in trouble to advance the story. Another annoying thing that the show does is that it keeps weaving in modern music, and I hate that in period pieces, because it doesn't fit the tone of the show. Imagine watching a show like House of the Dragon or Game of Thrones, and during the credit you hear Kendrick Lamar or Beyonce. Love their music, but it doesn't fit the tone. That just comes across as silly to me. So yeah, the show is terrible, but lucky for me, there are 6 more episodes. Well, actually no, that's actually bad news for me because I've got to watch this crap. But hey.
At least it'll give us something to complain about.
So I'll do my job. I'll eat my vegetables and keep you posted. But that's it. Those are my initial impressions of Willow, at least the first 2 episodes. So if you like this video, give it a like and leave a comment in the comment section, and share the link on your social media platforms. And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe and turn on that notification bell. That way you will get alerts every time I upload new content. This is the Layman's Journal. Thanks for stopping by. I'm out.